Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist.
Yes.
Snake oil salesman.
There are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance,
a podcast of spiritual interference.
Megan, are you a very musical person?
No. I enjoy music, but am I I think I could be talented because if I wanted to, but it's just that I don't have that that passion for it, though I do appreciate it. What about, didn't you play the tuba or something? Like, you're musical.
Ew.
You were a singer, or you did music.
I made our theme song. I mean, like, I can produce, I play piano, sing. I used to play guitar a little bit, but I didn't really go super into that. But yeah, music was always like a significant part of my life. And I feel like before I was a spiritual person, music was like my version of spirituality, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how I felt connected to things. Did you ever have anything like that, I guess, before you got into spiritual stuff? Like, did you do anything that made you feel like tapped into anything?
Traveling, but really, like traveling, like going to new places and like trying new things. But like, did I have a practice like you speak of, or like our next guest?
Like music or something?
No, I didn't have anything concrete with my hands like you two have. Okay. So have you ever done a sound bath?
Yes.
Yeah, you did one in Charles.
I have love-hates with them.
Well,
which we'll explain.
Yeah. So our next guest she is a rapper in Charleston, which I love, but she does sound meditation. She goes by Awaken Spanda. Her name's Arlyn Ruddy. So girl, introduce yourself and let's get into it, because I was blown to freaking space. I've attended many sound baths, but she has sent me to the fucking moon. So when we were discussing about what we wanted to do, I was like, or with sound bath wise, you were my dog. So let's get into it.
I love it. Hey, well, I'm Arlyn. I don't know. I just do sound baths and do things. I'm very curious about your experience with sound bath, though. The love-hate.
Yeah, get into it, Ryan.
Already? Right away?
Yeah.
No, like I love them in theory, and like in practice, I've had them like really, really good ones. Like the one in Charleston was excellent. I went with Shauna, my cousin, and she like had us lay where our heads were literally right there by the bowls. You know, it was just amazing, and it was indoors. That to me is like critical. Like an outdoor sound bath, I think is the most pointless thing I've ever done in my life. Like I'm like, why did I just pay money to sit on the beach and hear everything else around me too? Like I want the sound to envelop me. I don't want to be out hearing seagulls and children pooping in the wave. Like I don't want any of that, you know? Like I'm so sick of these outdoor sound baths, but that's like so common, especially here in LA at least. Like, oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, you're in LA. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in 100% agreement with you, actually. Like people ask me to do outdoor sound events all the time, and a lot of time I'll turn it down because it's just, to me, it's just not as effective. I guess it depends on what we're going for, you know what I mean? If it's just some casual thing, but if people are like coming to have an experience, I want to have them contained in walls. That way we're really like the vibrations aren't they're not going out into the ether somewhere, and you really can have a tangible experience. So
like I feel like
I agree.
I've been to like a new moon event or something here where like it's just there kind of in the background, and I get it, but it's like if I'm going to a sound bath, I want to be in
Yeah.
Taurus. Like I want that to be the function, and that's that. Yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
indoors. I think the space matters
I
so
agree.
much.
Yes, I agree. And you know how I can kind of like validate that in a way, in an energetic sense, the way I see it is it's like the masculine and feminine energy, right? We all have both of those components within us. But without the masculine containing the feminine would be like fucking all, it's like mush. I see it. Like, it'd just be everywhere. It would just spill out. So I see the walls as like that masculine container for this feminine practice of going within. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I love
So
that.
that's my visual for that anyway. But yeah,
Well,
I agree.
I feel like we should break, what is a sound bath? Break it down for people who don't know.
Well, I mean, a sound bath, I prefer to call them sound meditations personally. I'm just funny like that. But I mean, really, in essence, it's like a place where you're doing, in essence, a meditation. But however, we're working with sound, we're working with vibrations. So you're able to really like come into a more harmonious state quicker in the mind space. So in like the brain waves actually scientifically slow down, and you know, and so you're able to like really have a physical, tangible experience if done right, if initiated right. So it's like a healing space on many levels. So you're healing at a physical level by just slowing those brain waves down and slowing the nervous system down. So the body just naturally goes into self-healing, you know. You have that first, then you have all the other things like the components of being able to kind of travel and go places even, or just, you know, just have the subtle energy experience that like maybe you don't even know what's happening, but you know, there's stuff happening.
She can put you to sleep. She's got a gong. She's got a whole setup, you know, because everyone has a different, well, from the various sound baths that I've attended. And I host a sound bath with my friend Allie. But so everyone's, I've noticed, like, setup is differently, but you've got a spread, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is not a small, this is not a small operation. You know, like, you are playing multiple bowls. I mean, are they called bowls? Like, and what are you playing?
Yeah, so I have, like, me particularly, I have crystal singing bowls, I have metal singing bowls, I have a plethora of like chimes and like bells, which I love, and then a lot of gongs. Because I like multiple gongs. I don't, you know, just do the one. I can do one gong, but I can get a lot of sounds out of one gong. But I like to have a variety of
Options.
gongs. Yeah.
Options. How did you get into this?
Well, so I was actually in LA, and I was on, like, it was just kind of timely, I think, you know, like I've been in holistics and I've done energy work since my 20s. So like I've really kind of been in there, but I wasn't familiar with sound, and I was actually on one of my like more, I don't know, in a nice way we could say dark night of the soul, but like I was just, you know, in a really low, like
Yeah.
I'm just done with life and doing whatever the fuck I wanted. And then when I was sick of that, and I mean, like, my soul was sick of it, I started like trying to like step out of like going to bars and like going to, you know, music and bars and the whole scenario all the time, and trying to focus more on my spirituality again, or more like who I, you know, just getting to me again, like who I was. And I was going to go visit my friends in San Diego, and it was on a trip. And I just told them, I was like, look, I can't, I'm like trying to cut back on some things, and I need to be doing things, whatever, just healing things. I don't know if it's going to yoga, whatever. And my friend found, she's like, she was looking around for things to do, and she found a sound bath. And at that time, I had no idea. When she said gongs and bowls, I was like,
The kind you
like,
smoke.
you know, I was just more like, oh, fuck it. I was like, just sign me up. If it's for, is it for healing? Okay, cool. Then that sounds good. So we decided to do that. And it was at the, what is it called? A Joshua Tree. There's a place, oh God, what is it called? It's like a dome shape. Anyway, they do a lot of sound baths out there. They like channel aliens out there and shit. That's what I've always heard. But yeah. So we tried to sign, we were gonna sign up for that one. Well, she didn't get the tickets in time. So we ended up like when I was there just doing this last minute breath work and sound at the Sound Bath Center in Eagle Rock, if you know Eagle Rock.
Yeah.
And so, and I, honestly, I had done breath work before and I was like, oh my God, this sounds like terrible. I do not want to do this. But this is my attitude at the time. But I walked in, she had a fucking arsenal of gongs in this small space, and I was like just more mind blown, like what is this? And we went through that experience, and I had a very just prolific experience where like shit was happening in my body and like in all the realms. And so to the point where I couldn't process. It took me 24 hours to process, truly. Like I couldn't talk. Like the whole ride back to San Diego, I was just like silent. Like my friend, I might have said a couple uh-huhs, yeah. And but I loved it. Like it was just that I didn't know I was processing energetically. It just so much shifted at one time. And yeah, and then it was like about 24 hours later, that's when I was like reaming about it, telling everybody about it. And then I went back home, and I was just so curious and talking about it so much. I started like diving in. The nerd side of me just started diving in, like Googling everything and getting books, and books started coming to me, and I just started diving into it. And 6 months later, I went back and trained with her, and that was the beginning of all of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it always so funny that like things like this find you in those spots, like where you're like, I don't want this, I don't want to do it, I'm in a bad place, and then your life changes.
100%.
It's weird.
It's so weird. I mean, I remember looking at the clock. I remember like having the moment on the mat where I panicked inside to where I was like, I don't want to do this. Like it was like a freak out. Like, and then I was just like, okay, the spirit's like, you have to just fucking do it, Arlyn. Just
surrender, relax,
surrender. But I fought it. My ego was like, no, this is bad. We gotta go.
I've made a mistake.
Change my mind.
Mistakes were made. Please keep my money. So what for someone who's not ever attended one, like what can they expect? Because they're probably hearing all this and they're like, what in the world are you people talking about? Like, okay, sound. So like what's the layout looking like?
So in my particular sound experiences, the layout is generally, I mean, I do it a little different depending on the space sometimes and what I'm allowed time wise and everything. But I mean, you come in, it's very passive experience. You do not have to have a lot of people I know, they get that fear that comes over them when they're like, it's something new and it's like, well, I'm not a meditator, I'm not like a yogi, or I'm not. So people judge already, and they're like, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. Like there's not, you don't have the beautiful part is you just have to lay there. Like you just have to be willing. It's just a willingness, like a surrender to just
it's literally the easiest thing you could do and not thinking about it. Like you don't even breath work, like you have to be an active participant. You are just legitimately laying there, not just having to be open to receive. So I like the passive experience title of it. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's super passive, but that doesn't stop people's fears. And our mind, there's plenty of people, and when people are in resistance, I just say, well, then come when just come when you're ready. Like that's most important anyway. So that's when you're going to get the most out of it.
Oh yeah, and I feel like that passive state of it is what enables you to sort of like release, and then like you're thinking about all sorts of things, and in that very meditative space where a lot can come up and then you feel like you're having this very active experience, but it's really like that passive, sort of like the masculine feminine, I guess, vibe, like you were kind of talking about before, like because you're giving way to the experience.
It's fun. Hers are interesting because she'll, I've attended, we both belong to this club called The Wanderer. And so these people will come in.
Sounds like a cult.
Maybe.
And so she'll go around and like ask people like, how are you feeling? And you can tell like who's like, okay, and then who just panics because they're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? How am I feeling? Like I just
Yeah.
thought I was gonna be here. Like, what do you mean? And so sometimes it's always like pulling teeth in it. I'm like, I'm like, come on, guys, like participate. And then at the
Yeah.
end, everyone's so spiritually stoned that, you know, she goes around again and it's like, how are you feeling? And the same people who were panicking have now been essentially put to sleep. So they still don't have anything to say, but they're a bit calmer.
Right. Yeah, it's always different. Yeah, I do. For mine, I generally will like if I have a smaller group, if I have smaller groups, then I do like to open up and connect everybody and get connected to everybody. And it allows it to be more of like a healing, a group healing experience, you know, and collectively we can kind of come together and it allows people to safely open up, so to speak. But yeah, not everybody is. There's always the terrified ones that are like, oh shit, I have to actually like say something. But I give them a pass. They don't have to. If they don't want to, they don't have to. But
we're all looking. We're all waiting. We're not judging, but we're waiting for you to say something. So then so everyone's laying down and then you get out your ones and twos. And I mean, is there a method to this madness or it's just kind of, that's not how it sounds like at all, but like where do you go from there?
So, I mean, I walk everybody down through like a kind of a guided meditation usually to kind of get them into the breath, more or less, get them out of the head. So you're moving the mind into the body. That way you're a little more prepared because there's plenty of sound baths out there. You just kind of get thrown into it. And then you're just like, okay, people are spending half the time just decompressing. So this helps people kind of get more out of it by getting into the body first, and then learn, it empowers them to move their own energy or be able to control the scenario. But yeah, so we do that, and then I do have kind of like formats sometimes, and then sometimes I'll go in, it's always different. Like sometimes I go in, the format gets totally turned around, or I don't know. It's very intuitive. However, I do have a framework. I generally have a framework to fall on but it doesn't. It's usually pretty free.
So
depending on what they can bring.
What can someone expect? Like, because I mean, I know, and everyone can have like a variety. And also I'm always curious, like, what's the craziest thing you've seen? Like you like a demon escape from a throat? Like, have you seen like violent twitches? I mean, obviously emotional releases. Like, what have you seen?
In the sound, if it's just like if it's sound meditation, I don't really see generally a lot of crazy stuff because it's pretty dark and like, I've definitely personally felt something going on energetically, but more or less people's experience though after, when they've told me things after, some people have just radical experiences that are very like multidimensional. It's not like, these aren't like just average experiences, you would have. Now, when I've done breath work and sound, of course, that's when I'll see like radical shit happening where people are like, their bodies might start thrusting, twitching a little bit or gyrating. But yeah, and they won't even know sometimes that that's happening. Like they no idea at all. So it's very interesting. That's what I think that was what was going on in my body when the first time I had that experience with breath work and sound. At least that's what I think was happening. I wasn't seeing it, but I felt like my leg was like vibrating off here. It felt like my neck. I was doing kriyas. Like if you hear kriya in yoga or in Kundalini yoga, they do kriyas. Well, my head was just naturally doing kriyas. Like I didn't know what it was even. I was just like, okay, yeah. So it's just energy moving through the body, and you just, it's energetic release. And so I see it.
So what should people do like after? I think like aftercare is something that we neglect because you go to something like this and say you go to a practitioner who doesn't understand or doesn't elaborate or doesn't have a practice like you. I mean, like what would you recommend people do afterwards?
I mean, like, definitely like take it easy. It's usually like, because you're in a sensitive space. You know, if you've done them,
Mhm.
you're energetically sensitive, which is great because it helps you to kind of see things clearer, like things that may be for you or like not so for you, or like, you can
Mhm.
kind of, your intuition's heightened. So, you can, I don't know, do things like journal, take walks, like ground in nature is the best thing. Be slow, be easy, or talk about it, like not just thrusting yourself back into like, I mean, I've done crazy things after where I'm like, what the fuck? It's not till I get somewhere I'm like, what am I doing here? Like I'm like somewhere else, like it can be crazy. Like going into a grocery store even can be like, whoa, what is this?
Mhm. It really, I mean, I have a very active brain. Anxiety is super high lately. And the two times that I've done it with you, like I said, I host them, like I don't play them, but like I've attended, I do Reiki during them, and being able to be just on the receiving end. But I mean, astral travel, you think about, like you go to these spots, you hear about it if you're in this energetic realm, you try and do it when you're asleep. But like when I mean, people think I'm joking. I'm like, no, like I really, like I was on the moon and then
Yeah.
like had to come back. My lips were doing this weird, like, like I was blowing bubbles, and I knew, I felt I was doing it. I could not stop. I don't know if that's how they breathe in space, but it was I still trying to explain it to people. I'm like, no, you just got to try it. You just have to
Yeah.
try it out, because and then I slept like a baby both times. So if you're
Yeah.
in the Charleston area, because you do a lot of cool, like you collaborate with a lot of people. You're not, so you do the breath work. I saw that you did acupuncture at one event. But
Yeah.
I just saw something really cool that you did. Talk to me about this death ceremony or rebirth ceremony that you just
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that was really Ian's idea. So if you know Dr. Kate at IV
Hmm.
Chiropractic, yeah.
Hmm.
So what she does is network spinal. Is that what you call it? What is it?
Yeah.
Network spinal
Yeah, I think
care.
it's network spinal.
Yeah, so it's different. It's like energy. It's like she just takes care of the nervous system energetically. So it's not like chiropractic care hands on kind of thing.
It's like
But
energy
anyway,
work. Yeah, like
yeah,
kind of like Reiki, but not. I mean, as far as
yeah,
like the
she
hands-on
advanced.
practice. Yeah.
It's really advanced. And if you ask me what she's doing, she's just helping to raise everybody's consciousness, their kundalini. Like she's working with your life force, basically.
Hmm.
All of that. So anyway, she turned 30, and so Ian, her partner, called me up and like she didn't know any of this. So I went to the house, set up a sound ceremony, and then we collaborated in the fact that he was like, well, I want to do this death ceremony with her. So basically he walked her through a meditation that was just verbally walked her through the meditation while I played the instruments of like, releasing these things, putting them in the earth and that
How
sort of thing. So it was like
cool.
yeah. And yeah, and I just did the sound and whatnot, and she had no idea it was me until like, we were done.
Well, it's just so neat that you these collaborative experiences, because
Yeah.
it allows a more exposure. I mean, obviously Dr. Kate is into this sort of stuff, but
Yeah.
the acupuncture, like people oftentimes get so muddled or stuck in one lane. I'm just doing Reiki, or
Yeah.
I'm just doing pranic healing, or I'm just doing yoga. And so, and I could see how it would be very easy to be stuck in the one lane of sound meditation.
I would go absolutely bonkers if I stayed in the lane. I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
I would get like my soul can't even, if I like it, I want to do it and I want to make it all work together. Like,
Yeah.
it does. That's the beauty. Is sound like really is relevant because it's music, right? It's meditation, which I think meditation is like the key to life. And I'm not just saying like a yogi on the mountain meditating, like, but just walking it's just going within, is was what I'm referring to. But you can include sound to everything, every practice we have. Sound can literally be part of it in some way, in some form. I don't really know anything else that's that universal. But yeah, I mean, I teach people across the board, like people who are hypnotherapists to like, I don't know, lots of nurses, massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, so on, so on. It just, the list goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, when done right, you can do it with just about anything.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think you're so spot on, like that, like obviously sound can be a part of anything. And like prior to doing this spiritual stuff, I did a lot of like public relations and marketing, and I worked for myself. And I remember like when I would be like getting clients or going on an interview or something, one of my favorite things to talk to people about was, you know, branding, like for a company, like how people are always so focused on like a company having a logo and like their colors and like what's their tagline and shit like that. And I'd be like, yeah, but what's your sound? Like I was always like, what, like sound elicits such emotion, and emotion is how people connect to anything in a brand. And so I was so interested in building out somebody's like sound profile and like creating music for a brand so they could use this like social media and shit.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like just to further your point, though, it's like sound really can be a part of anything. Or it's like Megan and I just did a Reiki episode, which I'm literally finishing editing. Don't worry, crazy week. And I was like also saying like if I started practicing Reiki, I would really want to be doing it with like tuning forks. Like I think sound is so important.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. I mean, it's like music, right? Like everything you think about, like even movies we watch, like if we watch a movie or anything on TV or any kind of entertainment, the scoring in the background, it's like the unseen thing we don't even like pay that much attention to. But if we didn't have the scoring, we wouldn't have the emotional effects. We wouldn't have like, it's so important.
110%. The scary music tells me I need to get the hell, like I need to get out of the room. So I love that. What's cool too is, I mean, so you're a rapper too. So like, how does that, have you ever like merged these two worlds? And if so, like, obviously you're merging it, but like, how does all this go about? I'm so curious.
Yeah. So this is an exciting part of my life right now, because I'm just coming back around to really like music. It's been like a decade since I've been really like recording, songs and stuff like that. And I knew when I started sound, I knew there'd be a time I would like marry these things. Somehow they would come together. I didn't know how, but I just had that vision. I knew it would happen. And now it's actually happening. And the way it's tonight, actually at Tin Roof in Charleston, I'm performing out for like, I mean, this is the second time I performed. The first time I didn't tell really anybody because I just wanted to get my feet wet, know? And I didn't have, but yeah, so I have, so I'm performing, but I'm also was asked to open the whole, it's like a huge lineup of like artists. And I'm opening with like 5 to 7 minutes of sound meditation to just give people a little bite. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy?
Especially at Tin Roof Tin Roof. Yeah. It's a dive bar in the area. I mean,
totally. It's gonna be just weird enough. I'm so excited. But but on top of that, so my music now, like what I'm doing with my new EP is it's all tuned at 432. And then I have a producer here in Charleston who studied frequencies. He's way into sound. Well, obviously he's a producer, but he's into sound healing and like the construct of sounds and all that. So he's like making these entrainments for my tracks, so they just feel so much better. And so it's like a sound healing also on like a hip hop. Like it's crazy.
How cool!
I know. I'm so excited. And tonight is it. Like this pod is so funny how things line up, but it's just cool. Yeah.
Listen, if you can put people to sleep or get people in the zone at the Tin Roof, you can do it anywhere.
Oh my God. It's gonna be, I know what I'm gonna do. It's I have my friend Moochie who plays a native flute. I have him coming too, because I think that that would be like kind of a good, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just for the
Vibe off
it's
each
like
other.
5 to 7 minutes. I just want to, if I could get their attention to go into themselves for 5 minutes or just a
Yeah.
minute. If they take a minute, take some deep breaths, I'll be like, cool. But it'll give them a nice little taste, of like what it, some of these people have never done sound meditation or sound bath at all. They're going to be like, what is that when they see a
Yeah.
gong? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
no, I please record this and put it on
I
TikTok
know.
so we can see. Please have one of your friends in the
I
audience.
know. I have to. I know. I gotta figure all this out. It's such a big day, really. It's crazy.
Congratulations. Yeah, and you're doing this during eclipse season, like
Oh my
on
God.
the near the new moon, making it happen.
Yeah.
So this is your second time performing, in this arena. Like, how are you feeling?
I am kind of numb. Like right now, it's weird. Like I used to, like, back in the day when I would perform, I would just like, I don't know. I mean, I was a whole nother person. That was when I was in San Diego, and I performed all the time, but I guess I was like, I would drink a lot, or like, I was just,
Mhm.
I wasn't as aware of myself now. So
And you
now it's
don't
kind
drink
of,
now, right? Like
no,
yeah.
I'm
So
sober.
you're going into this environment. And Charleston is a very boozy city for those who
Yeah.
are listening who have not been here. And she's going into like a very eclectic, eccentric dive bar with a
Yes.
host, probably one of the only female musicians. Like so I mean, it's inspiring, it's creative, but also like there's an element of fear. I mean, how could there not be?
Yes, no, they're 100% is nervousness. Like, oh my God, like I'm about to like expose myself in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I'm excited. My light just turned off. It's driving me nuts.
Oh,
Her physical light, not her inner
yeah.
light.
No,
right.
my light.
Her inner light is bright.
The dark night of the soul is beginning again.
Oh my gosh, it's hitting. It's hitting.
Listen, if this is the only thing that goes wrong today, let's count this as the blessing.
I know, right? No, I got a big day, I tell you. No, I am. I mean, it's like I'm going into this like, there it is. I'm going into this like with really like the attitude of joy. It's like, this is what makes me like happy. It's like, it really brings such excitement and joy to bring this back into my life. So that's hands down like my attitude towards it. And if I forget at any time, I'm just going to remind myself, this is like my inner child, like just having a good time,
Yeah, you're having fun. And also it takes a lot of courage to like get up and do something different, particularly, in a southern town. So where people are pretty mired and rooted in their ways. So I can't wait to hear about it.
I know, but I can't wait to see how this actually happens. Like, I've just totally no expectations. I'm just like, I know it's like divine though. It needs to happen for whatever reason, who knows who's there, who's going to be there that,
Exactly. I mean, just by putting yourself out there, by, like everyone, it's energy, by just the more people you interact with, the more people you talk to, the more people you expose yourself to, then the more opportunities that you have. And because of COVID, we all became so sequestered.
Yeah.
So I love seeing, like, and I've kind of observed from afar, there's an interesting, like, it's a tight knit group of rappers, like I didn't even know existed in Charleston. So who knows? Maybe you can get, like, maybe you can take this show on the road.
I'd actually love to, like, I see that, like, and I really do see that, once I have some more stuff laid out, and that way I can also do meditation. I mean, I've always wanted to travel and do more meditations, but to be able to do music too would really balance it out for me, because it's like, this is the part that I really like connect with and love, is like my voice. And this is my kind of voice, I rap, but it's just, I don't know. It makes life fun.
It's giving, you're giving, and then this aspect is receiving.
Yes. Yeah. I like it.
That's a full circle sound moment, like
it's huge. Yeah. It really is.
Ryan, what did you, I mean, I know you said you produced, you sang, you know, like, did you ever rap?
Oh,
I did make one really funny, joking rap song that I know
If you've got
it
to
was
share,
kind of
do
a
you have it?
not like yeah, I have it still, but not
You
like
gotta
it was never
put it at the end, put
released.
it at the
I
end of the
rarely
podcast.
show people. It's funny.
Debuting.
It was I worked with this rapper when I lived in LA when I first moved out here, and he was so talented, but just like all this crazy stuff happened. And he ended up kind of like stealing a good amount of my music, and like I can't
oh no.
access it anymore. Even my website, he bought it for me and he won't transfer it to my name. It's so annoying. So I just kind of stopped music. But
I never knew that.
I know. So I made this big song called Proper. And he's like such a good like white boy rapper. But I made this song called Proper, where it was like basically just a big diss to him, showing him like I can fucking rap too, bitch. I can make my own like killer ass beat too, bitch. Like I'll do it. And I never put it out because I was like, this is embarrassing, right? But it's actually kind of good. It's like it's a
No, it's
couple
not.
good parts about it.
No,
I'm sure it is.
yeah, no, really, don't, for those of us who can't create anything like this, you know, don't deprive the world of this, of this
Well,
magic.
people never really cared either, though. Like when I was putting out music, like no, it was like nobody cared. I could not get
Right.
anybody to listen. It was fucking impossible. It's just like, and that's kind of like a gist in my life anyway. This though, like spiritual stuff, I've been able to pick up more like support
Mhm.
behind. So I'm like running with this, But I'm like
Mhm.
you in a way where I'm like, I feel like music at some point is gonna come back into it. Like I know every
Oh yeah.
planet has a different frequency. Like there's a different note on the scale assigned to a different planet. There were 7 traditional planets, right? 7 scales or 7 notes in the scale. So I'm like, there's got to be something. I know that there are a couple astrologers out there who are like doing something where you submit your birth chart and they're like, we'll turn your birth chart into music. I think they sound like shit, to be honest. But I think there's something to it. I
You
just
need more
do.
cowbell.
Oh,
Yeah.
I encourage you in that. I think that you should, because we all have that's part of I think our voice, and I shut it down for honestly, I mean it was like 10 years, it's like a decade. I just like stopped, and like it created such this weird like a fear. It took me like if you'd have asked me a few months ago if I'd have been doing what I'm doing today, I would have been like, yeah. Okay, like I couldn't even get to the microphone. I was just, it
Yeah.
was so weird what was going on in me. Even though I knew I could still dial into that. If you remember the feeling you have when you're performing or like you're actually like in your music, you know how good it feels. It's like the best relief, right? And so I'm finally channeling that again. And I tell you, like, since I've opened my throat up and I've stepped into this and surrender, like more like opportunities are coming, more doors are opening. It's kind of like, okay, like spirit was telling me this the whole time, like, and just took me a while to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
This is your sign, Ryan. It's
Girl,
Yes.
you tell me when I don't got the time, I've got the money, I gotta
that's
like figure
true.
shit out right now. There's
Well,
too much else to worry about at the moment. I really want to though, like for sure. I feel you. I think it's
It'll come.
so
It'll
big.
come.
Yeah, I believe
It'll
that.
come.
I really
Yeah.
do. I don't know
Mm.
how, but it will.
That's what you sound just like me. I sounded just like this, like a few months back, even. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how, don't know, don't see it yet, but it started
Yeah.
slowly.
and then it just
Yeah.
popped up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
interesting that both of you like simultaneously said, like when it came to creating your music that, it was hard, like hard to get people to listen, hard to get people to kind of, pay attention, which is so disheartening. So if anyone is listening to this, if somebody shows you, I don't care if they show you a fucking rock that they painted, take interest because they are sharing something of joy with you. And that by receiving that allows you to have joy. If someone's created music, I don't care if it sounds like absolute garbage. You have enough time, like to listen to 3 to 4 minutes. And then from there, you'll see where they get better too. But nothing pisses me off more than this because I feel like it robs people. People, we want validation.
Yeah.
So when you have this creative experience, and creativity is just the pure essence of
Mhm.
life. I mean, God,
It
when we're
is.
struggling, yes, when we're
It is. Yeah.
struggling, it's
Yeah.
like creativity is what brings you back from depression. It brings, this is where like true magic
Yes.
can be created. And so
And
if someone is showing you something, you people
yeah,
better fucking listen. God, it pisses me
it's
off.
it's
I so
the
agree.
art yeah, the artistic souls like literally are what bring us out of like economic downturns and like literal
Yes.
depressions that societies have been through. It's like there's a forces, the creatives among us to do things that inspire, and
Mhm.
that's what really gets people moving in motion. Like there's so much to it, which the word motion is a really big deal. I think yeah, that I'll bring up and
Yeah,
before we close, but
you all know the word etymology.
Yes. I love it. You're spot on with that. I mean, I think about like when I got into music, it was coming out of like some crazy turmoil in my life. Like just it was therapy to me. And that's how it is for a lot of rappers. Like it's really just self-therapy. That's all it is. That's what all any art is. But like, yeah, it should be listened to, celebrated, you know?
So if your words
Mm.
create your reality, which I truly believe, like I'm a
Mhm.
practitioner of the law of assumption, and then I've always been curious about this. Now that I have two musicians on the line, I'm going to be, so if your words create your reality and you write something from pain and, like, and it's magic, it's amazing, like it's therapeutic, but then have, like, you keep performing this. Is it
Mm.
liberating does it remind you of this terrible time? Do you think that I mean, like, do people need to have like this, this ceremony about it? I mean, like, I'm curious, like, to protect yourself from the words that you're speaking. Because if you're, what do you think about that?
You want to go first?
yeah, sure. I mean, like that. I think
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
I think there's something really interesting in like the yes, sound is like incredibly important, and words create like a capsule to sound, right? Like that's what language is, and
Mhm.
I think so. There's such an intention in that, and like it feels like physical, even though we can't see sound, we experience words and all that. But I think like that idea of like almost reliving something over and over and over again, I think can happen. And I think it's like a problem sometimes, but sometimes I don't think it is. Sometimes I think it's like this thing that's like it's this creative, like I think the healing and the therapy of it is the transmutation of the
Yeah.
creation, right? When
Yeah.
that initially happened. To perform it again, I would almost look at like an acting where it's like, are you a method actor, which has been viewed as like really bad, like where you're like literally feeling the character like completely and embodying it. It's like you're reliving that trauma over and over and over. There's a difference between that and like being in the flow with it and just like allowing it to move through
Right.
you, versus like
Right.
trying to embody it. You're not like recapturing the energy of like that trauma, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen like people like really like okay, so like one example would be like Amy Winehouse. I feel like I
Mm,
watched her like when she had to go and be forced to do these songs over and over, and we heard the rehab. We know the whole it's so it connects us to our darkest like despair, like it's sad. And then you watch her in her addiction and she's being forced obviously to do all these
Mhm.
shows and relive this shit over and over. That's how I saw it when I saw her anyway. Like that, I was like, this is so sad. Like it's like she never
Mhm.
had a chance to even break out of it, you know?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I think when if you are actively in your healing and you're like, you're on your journey, like you could maybe do old songs that have a certain aspect of this story and whatnot, and you're gonna be okay, and it's like and it might connect to somebody out there that needs to like hear it in that time, So I think that
mhm,
that's legit too. Even like right now, like what I'm doing tonight, I'm doing like two older songs and then I'm doing one new song to kind of like seal it up.
Yeah.
And it is different. Like the girl that's backing me up even noticed, like, she's like, she practiced the old ones with me. And then when I introduced a new one, she was like, this just feels good. This is just like, yeah, she was so excited. And she's like, so she got what I was saying. I was like, it's going to be different when I have this, like, because the vibe is more like when I was like one of the songs is about me when I was just depressed. It was before I quit drinking and when I was in my spirals and stuff like that. Um,
Ooh,
So
so you're taking them on a journey,
yes,
like,
we're going on a journey tonight for sure.
yeah.
So, and you realize how much you change over time. So, I mean, shit, I wake up sometimes and I'm like totally different today than I was like yesterday.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, I mean, I think we're all, we're changing, like storylines change all the time. It's just how we connect to them that affects us, I think.
I like
If
that.
somebody's not well and they're constantly like saying, I mean, I think words are they're like abracadabra for sure. Like if you're
Yeah.
listening to something on repeat that's not feeding your soul, you're gonna be in that. That's what you're aligning with, So I'm very funny about that. I always have been.
I just listened to this TikTok of this woman who did an experiment, and so she listened to like just Megan the Stallion for a bit, and then just like it was very interesting. There was some
Mhm.
like just I forget who else, because I was like, but Megan the Stallion taught her about self-care, so she just listened to like that exclusively, and her self-care improved. And each artist that was particularly curated that she would listen to exclusively, that's the only person that she would listen to for like 2 to 4 weeks. It was like an extensive amount of time. I
Mhm.
mean, she was like, I was not expecting this was a joke. I was not expecting this to change my life. I'll have to find it. It's so cool because she's a Black woman, and like the wide range of artists that she listened to, and then eventually got into sound frequency and sound healing, and the journey that she went on, and what each artist taught her, because we're always listening to so many different things. I'll go from
Yeah.
gangster rap and Tupac to like EDM to Reba, all within a day. And so it was such, I don't know if I could commit to that, but I love the idea of what music can do if you allow
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and it can speak differently because depending on where you are, I mean, we only see what is our experience anyway. So, like, I might hear Megan the Stallion and hear something completely different, and then somebody here, there's always a value
Yeah.
to everything. I don't think anything is you just toss it out. Like I always say that it's like no matter what it is, it's going to teach you something. Like no matter who it is, what it is, it's just how you're kind of reflecting in it, and I don't know.
Interesting.
There are things I guess I prefer more or
Oh yeah,
less a
for
lot
sure.
of the time.
For sure.
Some
For sure. I, I was gonna be like, what is it about Taylor Swift that has punctured every little person on this planet right now? Like, what is in her frequencies that is doing something to people?
That's a
I
really
don't get
good
it. I don't have
I
idea.
that
don't get it.
receptor.
No, I
No.
don't. I can appreciate
I don't have
it.
a lot of the mainstream receptors. I don't have
No,
at all.
same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah. It just it doesn't speak to my, well, I mean, you think, I mean, it's just where our souls are. It's like we need to be fed, nourished. And like if
Yeah.
something's not nourishing, it's just kind of like it might be for fun if I'm just like in my wiling out mode, or I don't care, and some just silly entertainment mode.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah.
Do you know your sun, moon, rising?
Me, well, okay, so I've done the tropical and the sidereal.
I'm
So, so,
tropical.
so tropical, I would be sun is Libra, and the rising is, what is that? And that one.
Yeah, you just had a birthday.
I was gonna say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like 2 days ago. 2 days ago. The ninth.
Yep.
God, I forget what the rising was in tropical. Um,
What is it, sidereal?
in sidereal, it's a Virgo and then a Libra rising, or is the ascendant rising same thing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. Then you'd be a Scorpio rising then.
it
In
might be,
tropical.
yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe it might be, yeah. I haven't looked at that in a while,
I was
but
just
yeah.
just wondering. Interesting
I can
music
see you as a
things.
Scorpio rising.
I'd have to see the chart. I know I was gonna guess like I'm an Aquarius rising, which is like I don't have the mainstream receptors, a little more out there niche,
Yeah,
I guess.
I feel like I was born without those receptors.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
at an early age, I was just kind of like like seeing through. I was like, this is, if everybody's doing that, I'm gonna do this. Like, I just didn't have that, like,
I feel like
And
you've
you grew
got
up
some
in Mount
level of
Pleasant.
what's that?
Oh, you
What's
said go
that?
ahead, Ryan.
oh, I was just gonna say I feel like you've got some level of like Aquarius and Pisces there. There's something just to the vibe of what you're saying that makes you feel very
Yeah.
Aquarius and Pisces.
Mystic.
I definitely vibe with Aquarius always.
Yeah, as a Libra, oh my god, yeah, that's like sibling signs right there. So good.
Oh yeah, and you're a Gemini, so you guys,
Yeah.
are. You do maybe you heard it here first, folks. Maybe there's a music collab.
Jesus Christ.
Right?
A collab.
I mean,
That-
I'm always down.
Okay. Okay.
You can send in your lyrics, Ryan, just one or two. I'm
Good God.
serious.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll
It'll
be
be
like,
good.
yeah. Yeah. I've worked with rappers in the past. So they just.
This is an ethical rapper that we
That's
have on now,
awesome.
though.
Oh, yeah. 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 No, I love that. Where do you see like sound going in the future in general?
Well-
I know that's a weird question, but I guess music in general, but also like sound healing, sound and people's relationship to sound.
Yeah. I mean, just being in like in America or in USA, like one of my teachers is from Germany, and like, so like in Europe, if you go down to like South America or Mexico, I mean, sound healing is so predominant. And in Europe, it's already like, we're there. I'd say they have a few years on us if we were to look at it like that. So we have a lot of catching up to do here as far as sound or understanding, how frequency and sound actually really does affect us. And why that is, I don't know, if we're just so dumbed down here by media and, people just don't receive,
Top 40. Like,
they're listening to Doja Cat, and they're not,
Yeah.
sorry, no offense, Doja Cat, but I'm just saying, like, it's
She's
just
rude. She's so rude to her fans. Oh
she's-
my god.
I've heard some really bad things. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
definitely heard that. Very interesting. Yeah, it's like biting the hand that feeds you, but yeah, I mean, I just think people get so distracted with just such bullshit. I mean, or just, how America is. We
Yeah.
know it's just so false in so many ways. But yeah, so I think we have a lot of catching up to do, and I think that that's what's happening though, and I'm seeing it happen because I feel like I constantly, like, I mean, everything I'm doing is growing. There's people, more people coming to session wanting to know more about it and or starting to feel like they need to, experience it, or I don't know. And me doing music, I mean, I think that that's like, I'm gonna do all of my EPs. I mean, even like when I've been like presenting this to producer friends of mine or people who are doing music, like even they're looking at me with like what the fuck are you talking about? Kind of like like, is this necessary? And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is there's no other way I'm gonna do it. Like, it's
Not
this
only
is
is
what
it
we're doing.
necessary, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
an
mean, I know it.
absolute.
Right, it's happening. Like, this is, I already, my whole life is like, this is what I do with people anyway. It's like, why would I, if I can do it differently, why would I not do it differently? Do you know what I mean? Why wouldn't I nourish your soul and your sacredness rather than adding more like complexity to it? Like, when I have the power in my hands, I can do that. I can do this. So,
Mhm.
and hopefully more people will start doing that. One person does it, it gets in the consciousness, and then maybe somebody else will start doing it and we'll grow from there. I don't know.
Yeah, and you
Who
teach
knows?
you teach workshops, you have or certifications,
Yep.
like so you can help people. So if this tickles your pickle and you're in the Charleston area, but you'll travel. I mean, so like come to Charleston, check out her sound bath. But but you offer a
Yeah.
certification, don't you? And you had one
I
just this
do,
past
yeah.
weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, just like last week, I think it was. Yeah, I trained just sound healing. So sound fundamentals and how to like initiate sound baths, sound massage, or sound, one-on-one sessions, and then gongs. So Yeah.
Sound massage. That sounds so lovely. Yeah.
Right. In
Yeah, it
Europe, that's
does.
normal. It's like on like people's like if you go to a spa in Europe, it's like sound massage is pretty normal, you know? Like here we're just
Because we were colonized by Puritans. Yeah, that's why like it takes so long for
right.
everything to like
I mean,
infiltrate.
yeah. It's such an indigenous thing. I mean, really, like any like if you that's why like in South America, Costa Rica, or anywhere, I mean, of course the sound baths across the world are always going to be so different. Like because people are going to be using different like culture, like instruments or those sorts of things. But I mean, it's just been, you know, maybe their approach is different, but it's like it's just known. Like you sound is a part of life, like making rattles, drums, all you think about all the things. And then we're just so, you know, structured in
Boxed
our
in. Yeah, boxed in, limited. I mean,
yeah,
when you hear it
yeah,
from
like
this perspective, it's like I have
right,
to, you know, like, and I never try and sell anyone on energy, which I think all people, when you first get into any sort of energetic practice, you're like, I have found the way, like, follow me. And then no one comes and you're like on the top of the mountain, like screaming. So, but the amount of, not that you have to convince here, but it's like, look how long it took Reiki to get on board, like,
Oh,
which I mean, like the amount, not convinced, but it's like, okay, like take it or leave it, but like, this is beneficial for you. Why would you not try
mhm,
it? Like, what's the best that could happen? At worst, you just lay on a mat for an hour of your life and maybe
mhm,
took a nice snooze, like, but the level of skepticism when it comes to practices, whatever energetic practice, but here we're talking about sound, like that
yeah,
then one has to overcome, that I don't feel is necessary or native to Europe, South America,
yeah,
like, but America is such a weird container for this.
And I think we're so capitalist that I think we have to find some sort of person in power who's going to turn it into a money maker, before it will actually go out. Like that, we're so limited in our element of discovery these days in
yeah,
general. Like to break
yeah,
out, to truly have a creative thought and let that puncture
right,
anything and get into the
right,
mainstream. If you don't have money and power, good luck.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's gonna be very hard. And so it's really about getting it to someone with money and power so then you can bastardize the entire art of
mhm.
whatever you were doing. I mean, it's like even on Spotify, your own Discover Weekly, which is supposed to be this like auto-generated, like because you like X, you're gonna like this now. It's not. It's like still like payola. Like they're still paying for all this stuff. So
Oh
not
yeah,
like it's still like what the music machine wants you to listen to.
oh
Like, very
yeah,
hard to just discover new music now.
absolutely, yeah,
Was it
yeah.
easier before? Because I feel like with the age of
I
the
think
internet and with like exposure and with like social media platforms and SoundCloud and all that, like
algorithm,
you
yeah.
would think though that there would be like, compared
Oh,
to where you had to like play in front of executives and hope that they liked you, like the Beatles or Elvis, like, so it's that
Well,
interesting take.
and yeah, and I think the only real thing that we've always had is like concerts, literally like what you're doing tonight. You go somewhere and somebody happens to be performing and then you'd fall in love with this like artist or something. But even
right.
that, the ticket prices these days, the
Oh, I know.
accessibility to get into a concert, like you used to be able to go to like a little local show for like nothing, and now
Right.
it's like god, so expensive to see like the dinkiest people. It's like nuts.
Yeah.
Just yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don Johnson.
Hmm.
No, I mean, like, there was like, I
Yeah.
just went to one like last weekend, and it's this guy that I've loved forever, Joshua Radin. I love him, but like, he's not a big deal. And it was like $80. There were two of us that went, and it was like $80, a little over $80 for the two of us to go. And I was like, in this little dinky theater, it doesn't sound like much. Like, I think he deserves $40 a person or whatever. But I was just surprised. I was like, this used to be like $18. Like, this is like
Yeah.
Wow.
stupid.
It's
Things have increased in price so much.
Well, and then that limits
everything. Yeah.
people, like that limits people from getting exposed to, what did you say his name was? Josh Graydon?
Joshua Raven. He used to be really big. He had like a lot of music in like Scrubs and like old TV shows. That's how he kind of became big. Anyway, he's so sweet too.
Seriously,
So,
everything that was like more, it's more online. It's more like, it's not, nothing's in person anymore. It's just so, ugh, like, I hate it.
There's a disconnect. There's a
Yeah,
connect, but a
disconnect.
disconnect.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're right about the algorithms, because that is definitely a massive issue we have here. I mean, I guess every country might have different kinds of algorithms for different reasons, but like ours are just,
Nuts.
it's just bad.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But-
I'm hoping that your music and message gets out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why not be the one that
Why not?
punctures
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What's the best that could happen?
your performance?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just, to be honest, it's like, I don't even, my attitude towards it is so different even now. It's like, it's like, I'm just doing this because it brings joy to my heart. And if I'm gonna do it, I mean, I'm 44 as of like a couple days ago. So
And
it's like,
do not look it. Damn.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
but yeah, so it's like, you hit that point. It's like, nothing even matters anymore. It's like, I'm just going to do this, and whatever happens, if it just, maybe, who knows what spirit's doing with it, but my soul feels very called to do it. So I'm just going to do it, and whatever comes, and that is what it is. As long as I'm happy and having fun,
Yeah.
I
you
love
know?
that. Well, you can tell, like that you're invested in what you're doing, like
Yeah.
you can tell that, like you enjoy it, which I think is so important, particularly when you're doing some sort of healing modality. You better
Yeah.
or you bet, like you can have your off day, you can have an off season, but if you are not actively enjoying the process, then, you're causing harm.
Yeah. Yes.
So what projects are you excited about? What do you got coming up? Where can people find you? All the good stuff.
Let's see. I have, so every month, I guess you can find me at www.awakenspanda.com. That always has like all my stuff. My Instagram, it has my like link tree there. So anything that's happening that I'm doing is always there, like monthly. But I do like, my biggest project right now is honestly my EP. I mean, that's just working on music. So that's my most exciting thing. Other than that, it's just, we're doing full moon, new moon ceremonies, and acupuncture and sound, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yoga.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Me, I change by the month. Like I might meet somebody that's like, hey, let's do like, I mean, I did an ecstatic dance for a couple months in like a row, and then I changed out of that, but just.
Oh yeah, you really do. Yeah, you just move and flow.
I just flow. That's what I do. And I love it. Like I wouldn't have it any other way. It keeps me, fresh. Because if I was just doing these rigid things or like locking myself into a schedule, it just becomes so gray and like, ugh. Like I like to, pep it up and
Mhm.
Yeah. You don't want to be
spice it up.
stagnant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. 2024 will be a good year, I feel like. Really
Yeah.
good year.
I'm super curious to see. I mean, like you heard
Me
it here
too.
first. I mean, like this is the jump off. It could like, well, like where could things go from here? I mean, that's the exciting
I don't
thing.
know. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, with your attitude and passion, I mean, like sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I need to come out to LA and see you. I can't see. The thing is, I can't be stuck in Charleston. Charleston, I get crazy town if I can't get out of Charleston. For me, I've always been a traveler too since I was like 17. So I've lived other places. And so for me to stay fresh is part of my soul's need to like, I got to get out and like see something different, like be inspired in different ways. So being like moving, and I can get stuck in a rhythm, like paying, when you got all your bills and you got all your things, it's easy to get kind of in this like, okay, well, maybe I'll do it next month, or, if I don't plan something out, I won't do it like nowadays, because I kind of have to in a certain regard. I'm going to New York next week, and I'm so excited.
Oh my God,
So
that'd be amazing.
I'm going to see, I'm going to see Lauryn Hill and the Fugees.
That-
Shut
That'll be
up.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah.
There's still like, I've never had a better like musical experience than Lauryn Hill in Sister Act 2. Like there's something to that's
I remember.
still my favorite movie of all time. I have the soundtrack. I still remember it like all. Her
That
on the
was her
piano
debut.
singing His Eye on the Sparrow with that other chick. Like, good God, that Lauryn Hill has never been better. I'm sorry. I had Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the album, and like loved so much else that she did, but damn, Sister Act 2.
Sister Act. That's great. Yeah.
Well,
I'm excited now.
Oh God, you're gonna have a blast. That's like, I feel like that's a hard person to catch performing in general.
Yeah. It was literally like a couple months ago, she released like 12 dates in the US and I only 12. And I think she's added more on now, like since I've heard that like a week ago, because I guess they were probably full. I mean, it's Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. So
that's
it's
nuts. Literally nuts.
Oh my God. And it couldn't be a better time because when you think about like we've mentioned Megan Thee Stallion, we mentioned there's Doja Cat and all these female rap. Like, female rap is actually pretty big right now in the mainstream.
yeah.
However, there's the essence of something like Lauryn Hill, that natural, sacred woman that is just missing from the lineup I've seen of popular women rappers. I mean, Lauryn Hill wasn't out grabbing her crotch when she raps. All these women are grabbing their crotch when they rap. I just don't get it. But it's, I just think that her essence though, just it's something that really it's timely. It's just very divine.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get to be in that.
Yeah.
Again. Dude,
Yeah.
yes.
That's going to be an amazing concert. Period.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
You'll come back so inspired.
That's what my hopes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want to say this quote from this book before we
Oh, you found it.
part ways. Well, I have the book. I couldn't find the quote in here, so I had to Google what the quote was. But the book is called "The World Is Sound: Music in the Landscape of Consciousness." It's my favorite book about like actual like frequencies, the power of music, and what it actually can do. It's by Joachim Ernst Berendt. Good luck. I'll put it in the show notes. Do you know him?
I think I know this.
We'll quote. See. It's like literally, it's beautiful. Like hang in there because there's like a little scientific-y language, but it's so beautiful. Okay. At the root of all power and motion, there is music and rhythm. The pattern or the play of patterned frequencies against the matrix of time. We know that every particle in the physical universe takes its characteristics from the pitch and the pattern and overtones of its particular frequencies. It's singing. Before we make music, music makes us. Oh,
I love it.
Murders me. Like, just like that, everything is vibrating, right? Everything is frequency. It all, everything is music. And so, like, I love that.
I love that.
So
I don't
amazing.
think I've actually seen that one, but
it's a lot to take in. Probably not a good one to read like that, but I'll put this in the show notes because I just like
put it in there so I can see that. Yeah, I'll use it.
Yeah. Oh my God, please. This book in general, just like so amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, music's powerful shit, guys. So
yes, it is.
And if like the way I would prefer to do a sound bath for me, it's like that's like my Sunday church service.
Yes.
Like I could do that weekly Sunday mornings. I feel like that sets my day up right. Like I don't want to do it like at night and then go to sleep. It's just not my vibe. I don't know.
Oh, I do. I love it.
I want to
I zap out. Yeah.
I like it both ways. I've done both, and it is like the morning one is also incredible. So either way, it's sunrise or sunset. It's perfect time to be in your energy field. So yeah, I agree. And that's tonight at the show. That's how I see it. I'm just taking them to church. It's like opening in prayer, you know? at the bar. I'm gonna open the show up
But
in
that's, you know, like
prayer.
that's the best place to administer that sort of medicine. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
like
Right.
save some
people,
souls tonight.
yeah.
I'm gonna cleanse your soul tonight. I'm gonna
Yeah.
cleanse. Gosh, I mean, Tin Roof needs little vibrational love, don't you think?
I do. I walked in there one time and there was a little pug at the bar with a backpack and a leather jacket on, and
I'm sure there was.
his name was Jetpack, and I was, but like I was like, "Where is your owner?" He was just
Just hanging.
sitting on like a stool at the bar, and I was like, "All right." I was there to see my friend Krista, and I was like, "All right, well." I quit drinking at that point, so I was like, nice to meet you, Jetpack. So that was my one experience with the Tin Roof, which, albeit, was not a negative one. I mean, a pug in a leather jacket
That's
with a
not bad.
backpack
Yeah,
on. I mean,
fun.
like, yeah. So, but yeah, I can't wait to hear, you know, how it goes. And there was I think that was a hangout of a fella who just passed, Chris Shep. He had just passed.
Oh
So,
yes, I know Shep.
yeah, so I think that, you know, actually now putting two and two together, that's going to be a pretty, that has the potential to be really profound for that group of people who are mourning.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, so now I really am excited to see how it, you know, how it goes. Prepare for hugs, you know, prepare for hugs.
Yeah, I'm prepared for just about anything.
What is that? The Budweiser like phrase?
Oh.
Like, you down for whatever? I'm down for whatever.
I should actually open with that. Are you down for whatever? You about to get it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
They wanted me to do it initially, and he asked me to do it at intermission, like of the show, and I was like, I don't think. Could you imagine after a few shots late, people in their shots later?
It's
Like,
like
I don't think I want to intertwine those energies.
It's like when you go to the drag show and then there's that queen, like it's all high energy, and then she just takes it down with like a very slow, like melodramatic.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just like the energy was
You're
hyped,
like, oh,
and we were
fuck.
all in it. And now it's like, and it's so, you always feel so bad for the next person. And it's an old queen who's, you know, like singing the tales from her time. And it's like, now you got to have like the highest energy motherfucker come out after to like bring it back up. So that was a wise choice.
Yeah. Even with I mean, even, we'll see. Even opening, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to make them jump around or something after that.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I feel like that'll be such a good.
You can
just leave them there,
like get it. You know, like,
come on, now we're gonna shake and really get here.
Well, you're getting their particles vibrating.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
You're getting them moving.
Let's get your particles vibrating.
We're getting cellular massage.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. Well, we'll mark it in a year. We'll have you back on, and we'll see where your musical, your musical career, your musical, meditation,
whatever.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
And it'll be here before you know it. We'll mark it. You know, so next, what date is it? October
12th or no 11th. 12th.
And we'll see. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been, you know, so enlightening. And follow her on Instagram. Check out her website. Everything will be in the show notes. So you know you can attend one of her shows. And your rapper. What do you say? I'm so white. Your rapper name? What is your?
It's girl. It's his girl.
Yeah, which I like. It's super. Yeah, but it's memorable. You know, like. So follow girl. She's also on TikTok. So yeah. Anything?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
With TikTok.
Yeah. growing her presence. Is there anything that you would like anything you feel like you need to say to the people?
Like, I would say, if anything, just like if there's somewhere you feel drawn to, there's something new you want to try to do, like, don't let anything stop you. Fucking dive in. There's nothing you're gonna lose from trying something new in life. Like, just do it. Like Nike, just do it.
Yeah, so you're gonna open it. You're gonna
Jump.
open up with Bud Light, and
Jump.
then
Yeah, Bud Light,
and then you're gonna
I
end.
know. I'm like all these
Nike.
brand taglines.
Yeah, the two most like the anti-capitalist people.
I know. We're like, it's so true.
funny. The paradox of life, right there.
Seriously, I love it.
So funny.
Okay.
Catch a sound bath in Charleston. She's awesome. And if you wanna, like I said, I keep seeing you on Facebook, like willing to travel. I'm like, yes, put yourself out there. So she is willing to travel. We'll travel with gongs.
That's right. I will.
Yeah, I love it. All right, cool.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
So good.
Yeah.
Until next time,
Enjoyed it.
Megan, we'll convene on whatever we're gonna do. No, we know what we're gonna do. We already know what the next week guest is.
Mhm,
I gotta
yeah.
get questions for that. Okay.
We got a
Toodles,
guest on
everybody.
All right, bye.